We are here with Michael Stelzner, the CEO and founder of Social Media Examiner. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Aaron. Pleasure to
So
be here.
great to have you. So let's get right into it. Tell us the short elevator version of your story, how you got into this business, and how you're got to be so successful.
Yeah, well, the short story is I was the king of white papers by other people's standards. I had built a big following around the concept of white papers, which are these marketing things that most marketers are familiar with. And I got a little bored with it, and I noticed a lot of my friends getting involved with Facebook. For example, Ann Hanley over to Marketing Profs. I tried to connect with her on LinkedIn, and she's all, well, how about Facebook? And I'm like, huh?
That's a
You know, and
compliment. That's a compliment, by the way. Yeah.
yeah, and then Brian Clark was from Copyblogger was big on Twitter, so I started paying close attention to what they were doing, and I began to realize that this was around early 2009 that there was clearly something for marketers going on here. So I decided to put an experiment together, calling it Social Media Examiner, and instead of it being about Michael Stelzner, it was about shining the spotlight on other people. We launched in October of 2009 and had articles contributed by other authors. And the thing exploded. I mean, it was just crazy. And today we have over 500,000 people that read Social Media Examiner every month. We've got a top podcast on iTunes. 172,000 people get our emails in their inbox every day. And it's freaking crazy.
Great. Yeah, you're one of the better success stories out there. So, talk to me a little bit. Let's go even further back for a second about some of the foundational principles that have made you a successful businessman. What are like two or three things that are people that are entrepreneurs? There are folks out there that are running small agencies, consultancies, and are trying to grow it. What are things that you've really found?
Yeah, well, the ideal thing is to figure out who your target audience is. Everybody knows this. But not just to figure out who is your target audience, but what do they want and give it to them. I know it sounds so unbelievably basic, but back when I started Social Media Examiner, knew that what people wanted was to figure out how the heck to use all this stuff.
Yeah.
And there were very few people that were actually revealing how to do that for free. They were all trying to make money. They're all trying to charge for it. And we decided to kind of become the magazine and give away really rich, in-depth content for free, knowing that's exactly what our audience wanted. And that was really the key to our success, and people ate it up and they shared it, and it created this kind of hurricane, if you will.
Got it. And then from a personal side, what has allowed you to be so disciplined and so focused on seeing these things happen in your career?
Well, first of all, I'm a man of faith. I do believe that that's part of it. I also believe that you got to work hard, you got to roll up your sleeves, and you got to get dirty. I try to lead by example. So, I'm still contributing content on a daily basis to what we do at Social Media Examiner. I kind of feel like a guy in a jungle with a machete, making a path that doesn't exist.
Kind of like that guy on your mic right there, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. His name is Scout, by the way.
Oh, really?
But anyways, I feel like Scout. I'm out there in the jungle. I'm getting cut up. I'm getting dirty. But you know what? People are following the path, and it's exciting. And it really isn't, like I said, about me. So to your original question, it's not just about creating what people want. It's about identifying who the key knowledge holders are in the niche and giving them a platform. I took a camera crew with me to two events at the start of my Social Media Examiner, Marketing Profs, and Blog World, and I got on-camera video interviews with. I was carrying around the microphone. Nobody knew who I was, and I was begging for interviews. But it was created these really cool video interviews with these people, and it was unheard of at the time, and everybody loved seeing themselves on video. And I was asking them questions like you're asking me questions, and that stuff combined, the great content along with really sharing the insight in the brains of others, created this kind of like central focus where everybody was watching what we were doing, and it just kept growing.
I love it. People do like to see themselves, pictures and videos. That's a big trick and tip in social media that gets said a lot. So let's change that focus to best practices in social. You are very well known for blogging and your blogging conferences. You have access to quite a bit of expertise and data out there. Can you talk to me just a bit about, what makes a good blog and why should all businesses be blogging?
Well, what makes Well, first of all, why blog? Yeah, let's start there. The reason you want to blog is because you want to get rid of the traditional middleman that you pay a lot of money to. This is the radio station. This is the mail list provider, the magazine. This is the newspaper. This is even Google. I mean, the fact is Google is a middleman. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo there, just so you know.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. So the fact is Google is the middleman, and the goal here is to get rid of the middleman. So the reason you want to blog is because you want to not have to pay any money for your marketing. At Social Media Examiner, we've never had to advertise. Our content is our advertisements, but we don't actually sell anything. Instead, every time we publish a piece of content, it draws people to us. A subsegment of those people want to get on our list. So one of the best practices is to have commercial-free content and a way to get people to want to get more of it. Like, for example, sign up for our daily email list or our weekly whatever. Once they've opted into that list, that's when the marketing engines can begin kicking in, Aaron.
So you get their permission first with good content, and then you start the process with their explicit approval to give them more.
To give them more content. So you deliver a spoonful of sugar with a little medicine in it, and the little medicine is a little ad, for whatever it is you're selling, but delivered with what they really want, which is the content.
I like that, a spoonful of medicine with all that sugar. Because I think other people flip it around. They try to give just a little bit of sugar and a lot of medicine, and that's a tough one to swallow for all of us.
Well, we really are giving a lot of sugar because they really want the content. It's sweet to them, you know what I mean? And but what they don't realize maybe is that they need, and a subsegment of them do need to buy events or books or whatever it is you're selling.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: from the big business-to-business manufacturer to the small restaurant out there, and then of course all the consumer brands in between, should every business be blogging today?
I don't think every business should be blogging. But I do think that if you are spending a lot of money right now to try to reach your target audience, that's a good sign that you should be blogging. If you've got a line out the door and you don't do any advertising at all and word of mouth is just crazy popular for you guys, then why blog? You may not need it because you're probably at capacity. But if you're throwing money down the toilet to try to get in front of a certain kind of audience and you know those audiences are out there on the web and they're reachable, then I think you should consider blogging.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I love it. So, again, using this great network of expertise that comes to your fingertips every day and being an avid reader of your own publication, tell me a little bit about what you see coming around the corner to give various businesses the competitive advantage, right? The things that we just aren't all doing that we may need to keep an eye on and look for in the fall in 2013.
Yeah, there's two things in particular. One is passive and one is active. The passive thing is Google+. And although Facebook and Twitter get all the news, and even Pinterest to a lesser extent, Google+ is owned by Google. And every business should know the value of showing up in the search engines. You want to, at the very least, have Google+ somehow integrated into your website, have a Google+ page, even if you do not actively manage it, so that people that are logged into Google+, and there's 250 million people that use Google+, 150 million daily, those people, if they +1 your content, that's going to come up higher in the search rankings. And that is an immediate passive way, just allowing them to share your content using the Google+ widgets, that you can get some value. The other thing is podcasting. This is an active thing. I believe that we have an opportunity. We're at an inflection point, a renaissance, if you will. Now that nearly every person in the world carries a smartphone with them, they now have the opportunity to listen to on-demand radio. You think Pandora is big with on-demand radio, on-demand talk radio.
Yeah.
So podcasting is on-demand talk radio. Hundreds of millions of people have smartphones with them when they're in their car, when they're on a hike, when they're in the gym. These people can multitask when they're listening to your content. And trust me when I tell you that you're going to see thousands of new podcasts coming out in the next year. It is going to be one of the, it's the biggest opportunity. It's a land rush right now, and it's getting a second resurgence.
Interesting, because it felt like podcast was almost passé to a certain degree, but you're saying it's coming back again. It's that second or third set of waves, yeah?
It's because back in the day you had to listen to it on your computer. When they,
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right. But now you can listen to. Now you can listen to it while you're doing other stuff. You cannot watch this video and multitask. You cannot read and multitask, but you can listen and multitask.
Yep.
This is a new medium for marketers to be able to deliver that valuable how-to content. And, we've seen crazy results. We have 15,000 people a week that are listening to our podcast. It's only been out a couple weeks.
Wow, that's great. Love it. So let's talk about the class that you'll be teaching at the Digital Marketing Strategy Summit.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about what we're going to learn from you in September.
I'm gonna talk about the value. I'm gonna talk about a roadmap, if you will, about how to actually employ a blog strategy that works and has longevity for your business. So if some of the things that I've said earlier resonate with you, like you're sick of spending money on even Facebook, for example, to get in front of an audience, and you want to have an audience of your own, and you want to know how to do that, I'm going to lay out a strategy, and it's going to be very easy to understand, and I think you're going to find a lot of value in it.
Cool. Great. Looking forward to having you there. So my final question is just, again, going back to the big picture. You've done so much in a short amount of time. What's the single biggest thing you're most proud of when it comes to what you've accomplished so far in the business itself?
I get a kick out of helping people, to be honest with you. And I think you'll be able to relate to this, whoever is listening to this right now. This is one of the cool side effects of having blogs, is the content works while you're on your behalf. And I got an email just yesterday from someone saying that you have completely changed my business and my life. I can't even begin to tell you how this has just totally opened my eyes.
Yeah.
And now I've got a path to go down, and it's clear and I understand it because they read my book or whatever. Or because they read some of the content on our blog, or because they're feeding daily at our trough. We get those kind of emails every day from people that love us and are willing to go out of their way to not only share our content, but do other things. But just the fact that having that kind of fan mail come in as a result of a piece of content that you publish, this is incredible value, personal value for me and for any business, because the more people love you, the more they're going to evangelize you. And it's kind of an easy ride from that point forward. So the message is, give it all away, man. Give it all away, and you're going to see amazing results.
Yep, but it all comes back in space. Nothing better than to give to get in that full cycle. I love it. Great way to finish up. So everybody listening, you can see more of Michael Stelzner at the Digital Marketing Strategy Summit, which is at onlinemarketinginstitute.org/summit. Michael, thanks for your time today, and we'll be talking to you in September.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, Aaron. So